In gathering, I was asked this question: is stress management so easy, so simple? Is it so easy to do away with stress? What do I do about the root cause of stress? I thought this is a question that could be bothering many people, and this is why I decided to make a video on the topic. Hi, I'm Kanika Saxena from kanikasaxena.com. Hope you're all doing well. If you like the content that is shared on this channel, do subscribe to my channel Food for Thought with Kanika Saxena. So we watch so many motivational speakers and spiritual readers talk about stress, and they make it seem so simple, so easy to manage stress. But when we try to apply those teachings in our lives, we find it difficult. We are not able to address our stress, and then we give up. And we watch more videos, we get more motivated, but the end result is the same. Stress management is definitely not as simple as it seems, but it can be done. It is possible. I will explain it with a few examples how we can manage our stress and make our lives simpler. First and foremost, what we need to understand is that we cannot control our circumstances or the people around us. People will be what they are. Circumstances, situations will come up in our lives which we may not anticipate. We can prepare for a lot of things, but then there can be certain unexpected things for which we are not prepared. For instance, when the pandemic came, none of us knew what to do about it, and it came suddenly. It was definitely a stressful situation. So such situations, difficult people, we will come across. But what we can control, what is in our hands, is our response to such people or to such circumstances. It's only when we learn to manage ourselves that we can control, not control exactly, we can manage our stress. So let me explain with a real life example. There was a time when my son went to the hostel for his graduation. So just after a month, after going to the hostel, he stopped calling, and he stopped even taking my calls very often. And this worried me. I was worried sick, wondering what he's doing, how his health is, whether he's able to cope up, whether he's able to manage or not. It was, I can't tell you the situation, my mental condition that I was going through at that stage. And then what I did, I would call up all the other boys whose numbers I had on his floor and ask them, leave the message with them to ask him to call me. And he did call me, but he was very irritated, and he said, why do you do this? Why do you trouble my friends? If I haven't called you, that's because I'm busy. I'm fine, I'm okay. I don't know why you worry so much. And I will call you if there is a need. And I was hurt. I felt that, he doesn't understand. I expect him to call me every day to give me updates on what's happening in his life. As a mother, I have a right to know these things. But and so I went to my dad who gives me solutions to most of my problems. So I approached him and I said, look at Rishabh, he doesn't call me, he doesn't take my calls, I just don't know what to do, I'm so worried about him. And my dad told me, fine, you are worried, now think of the time when you were in the hostel and there were no mobile phones. Do you think we would get hassle like this and worry about you endlessly because we couldn't communicate with you? This set me thinking. I went back to the years when I was in the hostel. In those days, there were no mobile phones. There used to be one phone in the hostel where we would be called in case there are any calls from our parents or anybody. Calling was very expensive. Not many people had phones. I was among the fortunate few who had a phone at her place, but there were many of my friends who did not have phones, and they would communicate through letters, and that was the way of communication. Now, in those days, imagine the plight of the parents when children were so far away from them in the hostel. How would they communicate? What was the way of trying to reach the children? So parents had to just get on with their lives and let the children get on with theirs. And if there is a problem, definitely somebody from the hostel, from the college, would approach the parent somehow or the other. So then this put things in perspective, and I realized the futility of worrying and getting hassled over this. And I just changed my approach. After that, I stopped bothering him. And to my good fortune, he was the one who started calling. He started with, "Why don't you call nowadays?" I said, "Because you don't pick up the phone." And then things changed. He would call more frequently. I started calling and he would take my calls. Of course, I wasn't calling him every day or expecting updates from him on a day to day basis. So, this way we developed a healthy rapport. Today, I think most mothers can relate to this thing, because many of them face this when their children go to the hostel and they don't call or they don't take calls. So now today, this thing seems like a very trivial issue that I can laugh over and talk to you about it. But at that stage, it was a huge problem for me. I was going through a lot of stress. So now this brings me to another aspect of stress management. Many times we think a problem is unsurmountable, it's a big problem, and it could actually be a trivial issue. We have this habit, many of us have this habit of making a mountain out of a molehill. It could be a simple thing and we get so stressed about it. And true, the fact is that at that stage we do not realize whether it's a small thing or it's a big thing. If it's a problem, it seems like a big thing. So what we need to do is think about the problem and think whether it will matter 6 months down the line. Sit by yourself and try to imagine the problem that's worrying you so much, how it will be 6 months down the line. If you feel that after 6 months it will be insignificant, it won't matter, then stop getting stressed about it, stop worrying about it. And if you feel that that problem could become bigger, or it will continue to exist 6 months down the line, then instead of worrying and getting stressed about it, take action. Do what needs to be done to address the problem. Because your cause for stress is not going to change. What you can change is your response. You need to take action where it's required and try to sort out the problem that's causing stress. You can approach stress with a very calm and composed mind. You will be in a better situation to handle stress. Let me give you another example. If you are, for instance, facing problems at your workplace, finding it difficult to cope up with your job, instead of getting stressed by the situation and worrying about it and feeling miserable about it, what you can do is read, learn new things, upskill yourself. And then you might find that it helps you in your job, because knowledge broadens your perspectives and it helps you in your job. And even if it doesn't, you have grown, you have enriched yourself with knowledge, and who knows, you might find a better job with your new skills and your new and the knowledge that you've gained. So every problem can be solved. but you need a calm mind. You need to think with clarity to solve your problem. One of the most effective ways to address stress is leading a disciplined life and having including things like physical exercise, meditation, pranayam, yoga, all these things, going out in the fresh air, all these things help you in keeping your mind calm. I know this sounds very cliched and people will say that I don't have time for all this. Well, if you can take out time to make your life, align your life, make it more organized and more uh, you know uh, disciplined, then definitely you will be able to handle your stress better. Remember, the cause for stress will always exist. It is how you deal with it that's all can change, and it's in your hands how you address your stress. Thank you for watching this video till the very end. If you like the content that is shared on this channel, do subscribe to my channel Food for Thought with Kanika Saxena. Follow me on Instagram, like my Facebook page. Links are all mentioned in the description below. If there are any questions that are bothering you, you need answers for, do share your thoughts in the comments below. I will be happy to make videos on those topics as well. And thank you for watching the video once again. See you next week. Bye bye.